Mr. Correction Officer.
Well, thank you for correcting me.
I learned
Good
from
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Live from the Chair with Big Money Exchange. Tonight, two of us are actually on location, Mr. Dodge and myself. Mr. Noss is the only one that's actually at home, sucker. We welcome Mr. Tyson Stone to our podcast this evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
So would the sucker like to ask the first question?
Sure, but what kind of flavor of sucker am I? Just curious. Who were some of your wrestling heroes?
Okay. So my wrestling heroes, I had a lot of them. Ron Simmons, Arn Anderson, Dusty Rhodes. Let's see who else. Steve Austin. Not just Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the Hollywood Blonde Steve Austin. You know, just Sting. Who else? Yeah, those were pretty much those were it right there for me.
the Ron Simmons is a first.
Yeah, see, I'm old school. I don't look as young as I look. No, I'm actually I just turned 45. So I grew up in the old school era.
Very cool.
Got ya.
See, I skipped Deontay's call, so you're welcome.
Thank you. They just announced today that Ron Simmons is going to be honored at the Cauliflower Alley Club this year. So.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, then, if he is such an old school, these Knicks questions are going to be really good, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can you tell us your top 5 tag teams of all time?
Ooh, okay. Top 5 tag teams. All right. So, in no particular order, Legion of Doom, so it's Bret Hart, Owen Hart, or Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Hart Foundation, any variation of that. Like I previously mentioned, the Hollywood Blondes. God, I actually have more than 5 because I want to say Harlem Heat and Doom. So that's actually 6.
Harlem
that
Heat
works too.
was the shit. I loved the Harlem Heat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Can you dig it?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, they were very underrated. I mean, they were a lot better than people gave them credit for.
Amen to that one. Yeah.
Yep.
My turn. I take it.
Okay.
Even though it's a red light, and yeah, I could ask.
Well, that's
What
a perfect time to ask a question.
Right? So what's the scariest injury you have had?
Oh, that's a very good question. So so before I answer this, I got to put this in context. I started training for wrestling when I was 41. So I was, I just did so I just did a long stint in the military. My scariest injury is I tore my ACL in my right leg. So my left leg, I tore my ACL and MCL when I was in the military. I tore my right knee, and it was scary. And I was supposed to be in a feud with my teacher, and I couldn't do it. And it says, okay, you're going to be out for 11 months. I was like, so I'm going to be out for 9 months? No, you're going to be out for 11 months. So I'm going to be back out for 8 months. No, you're going to be out for 11 months. If you try to do that before 11 months, you pop it, you won't wrestle again. Okay, so 11 months, got it. So that is one of the scariest ones that I had.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for your service, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Always. Go ahead.
Can you tell us how your tag team with Big Guns came about, the American Gangsters?
Okay, so True American Gangsters. So it's funny. Yeah. So what happened is that I came off of injury, and I wasn't doing anything. And he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, you don't have to say yes to this, but I had an army buddy. I had a military buddy of mine. He was big in wrestling. He wanted to form a tag team, but I don't think he was in the area. And he said, since you haven't wrestled in a while and I don't have a tag team partner, would you like to be my tag team partner? And I said, well, yeah, sure. I don't have anything. I don't have anything going on. I've been out for a year, so I have to rebuild relevance. And so that's how we did it. And then we actually got good. And then we won one tag team title. And then we wound up winning another one. And we were supposed to win a third one, but I wound up getting sick. So we had to vacate the one that we just won, the second one that we won. So, and then we just went from there.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave and I gotta handle some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Very nice on that note. And you guys are an amazing tag team, by the way.
Thank you. We don't really tag anymore. We more or less beat each other up more times than not. But I respect the hell out of Big Guns. I can honestly say he's one of the people that got me to where I was, and he's a great wrestler, and I'm lucky to get knowledge from him and also be his partner, because I learned a lot from that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, we're gonna get really knowledge on this, so we want to know your top 5 male wrestlers of all time.
Oh, Jesus, that's going to be kind of hard. Top five male wrestlers of all time. Okay. Ron Simmons, obviously. Arn Anderson. Steve Austin. Yes, that's like I said, it's the top 5, and it's really, really hard. Let's see, the last two. I already said Steve Austin. Okay, Dusty Rhodes, and only because of his promo work, because I'm a huge fan of his promo work, Jake the Snake Roberts.
So, in honor of our co-host that had to step away, top 5 managers of all time.
Oh God, y'all just gonna kill me tonight. Okay, top 5 managers: Sensational Sherry, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is probably one of the greatest talkers of all time, no question. Or Paulie Dangerously, or whatever you want to call him. He was great. Even though I don't agree with everything that he says, Jim Cornette. Great manager. Let's see who else. Let's see here. Bobby the Brain Heenan. And the 5th one, this is gonna be kind of hard. Teddy Long.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Nathan and Dodge's favorite snacks are anything with peanut butter, because they're both really sticky fingered.
Right.
And you can't trust them. So,
right.
What's your favorite snack or cookie?
So I'm really a candy guy. So I like Nerds. I like Sweet Tarts. I like Raisinets, but I'm trying to actually get back in shape, so I kind of have to wean myself from those a lot. So I'm focusing on fruits right now, dehydrated fruits. So like raisins, cherries. I'm just trying to get back in shape. So I have to limit the amount of sugar stuff that I take.
Got ya. If you could have one dream opponent from any era, who would it be and why?
Dream opponent. I would say Steve Austin, but not the Attitude Era Steve Austin. I'm talking about WCW era Steve Austin, because if you've ever seen, like, my friend showed me this the other day where he was wrestling Muta, the great Muta, Kijimuto. And I was like, is this the same Steve Austin that, because you know how he got really big when he got fired from WCW and he left ECW to come to WWE. He wasn't as, I'm not saying he wasn't mobile, but his style was toned down a lot. But if you watch him back in the WCW days, oh God, he was a bumping machine. He attacked the ropes. I'm surprised he didn't break the ring the way that he did it. So yeah. So that's who I would love to get to, but I would have to get in like pristine shape to even keep up.
And he did a lot more high flying stuff.
Exactly.
WCW,
another one,
do that.
And another match that he was in, and I kind of am kicking myself that I didn't mention him. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah, him versus Steamboat. There were classics, but I think Steamboat is one of those wrestlers where he can wrestle a broom and make the broom look credible. So he was great.
I completely agree.
All right. Well, now we're probably going to make him think even more. We want the top 5 female of all time.
Oh God, y'all are gonna just okay. Top 5 females. Ooh, my list is probably going to be weird because they probably never heard of the people that I like. But Jazz, Lufisto, Jazz, Lufisto.
You might need the keys.
Awesome Kong or Amazing Kong, whichever one you call her.
Right.
Trish Stratus and Lita.
Nice. So I'm gonna kind of do the same type question, but I'm gonna change it a little bit. Top 5 indie female wrestlers.
Indie female wrestlers. So I already answered a couple of those. All right. So top 5 indie female wrestlers. So one of them is actually my friend Lilith Grimm. She's real big out of Colorado. Like I said, Lufisto. Who else? I don't know if she's considered indie because she's in TNA, but Masha Slamovich. Yeah. Let's see. I said Lufisto. Who else? Because I don't really follow female indies that much. Another one that's a friend of mine, Gypsy Mac. She's just currently relocated to Vegas. She's killing it everywhere she goes, so she's doing great. And last, who's the?
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. I'm thinking about the 5th ladies female wrestler that's an indie.
There's a beautiful and powerful now since she joined. I'm gonna throw this out there for you, Scarlet Rose. Just
okay, I'm gonna have to check her out. Because, like I said, I watch a lot. I watch a lot of indie stuff, so I kind of need to just pay for that because that's not cool. That I can't name 5 of them.
It's all good.
Okay.
So before we let the next question go, Mr. Host, sir. Speaking of our friend Gypsy Mac, any update?
No, she still hasn't gotten back to me yet. We're trying to get Gypsy on the podcast. So.
You're fired.
Gypsy's a great wrestler. Like I said, I've known her for a little bit. We wrestle. Well, we didn't wrestle each other. I've been on some of the shows that she's been on, and she's killing it out there.
Yeah. Big Money.
Oh, of course I have to. So, my question, and I really hate faces. So, are you a face or a heel?
Depends on where the promotion I work. So most of the promotions that I'm at, I do work face, but I can work heel. And that's a funny thing because like I was alluding to earlier, I had 2 knee surgeries. 3. 2 on my left knee, 1 on my right. So I wear knee braces to the ring. So you automatically think, okay, he's older, he has knee braces, but I'm big, so they go after my knees. Well, as a heel, I actually use my knee braces as weapons. and I talk a lot of trash.
Friendly
in the ring.
weapon, of course.
Yes, friendly. Yes, of course. And they're like, "Hey, he's using it as a legal weapon." No, these are medically authorized knee braces. So I need these to perform. So I can be both. I'm usually, like I said, I'm usually booked as a face, but I can do heel stuff too.
Well, you better become heel if you ever plan on joining my group.
I'll keep that in mind.
What's the biggest name in the business that you have ever wrestled?
That's actually a great question. I just wrestled Ryzen in February. I actually lost my title to him. I was the reigning CSW 719 champion for about 6 or 7 months, and he beat me for my title. He had to use a chair. He had to use a chair, but it doesn't matter because 5, 10, 15 years down the road, they're not going to remember how he beat me. They're going to remember that he did beat me.
See, he was being nice. He was giving you a seat.
Yeah, on my back. Really, really hard.
It's a nice massage. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You tell that to me the next day when I was like, God, I got hit by a chair. That sucks. Yeah, it really, really sucks.
Actually, it'd be more like a chiropractor adjustment, not a massage.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And even though that was a losing effort, that was a great match, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I think it was an honor. All things aside, it was a huge honor to wrestle Ryzen. I mean, because like I said, Ryzen, in my opinion, is a very accomplished name, both in the indies and in the larger circuits. Because he's wrestled for the NXT, he's wrestled for Impact, he's wrestled for AEW, along with other promotions. So the fact that I was a guy that got to wrestle him as a champion. If you told me that a year prior, you would have been like, okay, whatever drugs you're taking, please stop, because it's messing with your imagination.
I still want to know what AEW's commissioner's taking.
Well, just out of curiosity, why is that?
Because there's always an announcement to make an announcement. So I want to know what's making him say that every show.
I don't know. I kind of like the first couple of times it was like, okay, it's an announcement. It's like, okay, you could have just went into that. Yeah, it's like, so we're gonna give you an announcement, and the announcement is we're making an announcement on Thursday, and then Thursday comes around, it's like the announcement is that we're making an announcement next Wednesday. I'm like, dude. Why?
But wait, there will be an announcement.
There will be an announcement about the announcement that we just made about the announcement.
Exactly. Like, stay tuned.
That's dumb. I mean, I know you want to prolong it, but it's kind of like, okay, just let us know when the actual announcement is.
Well, your fans are going to be leaving because all you're doing is dragging it on. It's pointless.
It's true. I mean, the thing about, and it's funny that you mentioned that about AEW, is that yes, AEW is an alternative to WWE, but at the same time, so are other wrestling promotions. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I watch other wrestling promotions besides AEW and WWE. I'm a real huge New Japan fan. I like watching New Japan. I watch some other indie stuff. So I watch Defy. I'll watch Progress. I will watch GCW. Because you don't have to just get from the big names. Like I'm a real big foodie, and you don't have to just go, like, if you want something different, you don't have to go to McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that. You can go to a mom and pop restaurant or a hole in the wall. Those are usually the best ones. Is the ones that they're not really known. So
yeah,
exactly.
Now I want a burger, so thank you.
You are very welcome. You get one after the podcast.
That's right. So can you tell us how your finisher came to be?
So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. I'm actually about to retire that finisher, but the finisher I actually did the finisher by accident. So funny story. So one of my moves that I did was a stunner, but I didn't want it to be a finisher because what do you associate with the stunner with? Steve Austin. So
yep.
I didn't want to do that, and it was funny because I was wrestling one of my teachers, Animal Sam, or now the madman from the Badlands, Samuel Jesfield. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I'm sorry, but anyway, I was in a match and I was trying to do a spinning face breaker onto my knee. Well, what wound up happening was I didn't get him all the way around, and it wound up being a stunner. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And that's, that could be a pretty good finisher. And I've done it a few times, but now I'm to the process where I'm going to transition out of that move because the spinning stunner is not effective on everyone. I can't lift it on everyone because there are people that are bigger than me, and you have to be really, really strong, and I want to hit a move where situation dictates, or I can hit it out of everywhere, because the one thing about that move is it's very predictable. Is that you can see it a mile away. Or if I hit it on somebody, they're going to be like, okay, don't let them get up to your shoulders, or don't let them spin you and counter out of it. That's kind of what happened with Ryzen on my match for him. He saw it, he got out of it, and then tried to do a super kick, and I was lucky that I hit it on him. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, who is the best wrestler turned actor?
That's not even a question. The Rock. The Rock is one of the best actors turned wrestler. As far as let me back that up. As far as money goes, it's The Rock, no question. But as far as range goes, I would have to say Batista. So those are my two answers. Like I said, if you wanna calculate, get it to where who made the most money and stuff like that, then that's definitely The Rock, no question. Yeah. But if you want to have the best range, then that's Batista, because he's played alien in the MCU. He's played a henchman. He's played various ranges from comedy to action to drama, and he does it very well. He does it very believable. So yeah.
I like when you said money.
So, yeah, I see that in your hands. I see all them hundreds.
Okay.
Okay, no, I noticed that.
So, right. Yes, I know it's my turn. You guys don't have to tell me. Let me see. Have you ever wrestled in Southern California?
I have not. But you know what? That's can be a goal of mine one day. I'm just, like I said, right now I'm trying to get myself in shape, change my moveset a little bit, change the style that I work. I have a couple of people who are interested in me. I know one is in Arizona. I've worked there a few times. And like I said, I just want to get my style back, because I know you guys were I know whoever watched my matches, they were satisfied with them, but I'm my own worst critic. I want to do something memorable. I mean, how the old cliche, hey, I want every match to be a WrestleMania match. To me, 5-star. Yes, I want it to be 5-star. That's kind of how I am. I want to be better, and plus I don't have a lot of time left on the old body, so you want every match to be memorable. You want your match to be talked about hours after the show ended.
Well, and the thing is, in wrestling, you can always learn and you can always improve and strive for more. So
exactly,
that makes perfect sense.
Exactly. That's just how I've been raised. Is that from my dad, who was a Army sergeant, kind of like myself. He was always the type of person where he was good, that he was happy that I got A's, but he was like, okay, so what could you do better? So like, okay, you got a 95, great. What could you do to get a 96? Yep. Or stuff like that. So that's how it is to me anyway.
So doing my research, I saw that you did a seminar with D'Lo Brown.
I've done a lot of seminars, but yes, D'Lo Brown was one of them. That's correct.
So, what was that like? Because he's got to have like a lot of knowledge that he can pass on to.
Oh God. So majority of all the seminars, I take away like a lot of stuff. It's like I have like 3 comp books full of notes from seminars, and I've taken seminars from like him, from like Mike Quackenbush, from like Marty DeMoss and all that stuff. And as with D'Lo, so again, D'Lo was underrated. D'Lo really was extremely underrated because they say that D'Lo was like all about the head shaking and stuff, but he was so much more than that. Because if you know your history with D'Lo, he was in Smoky Mountain Wrestling with the Gangsters, with New Jack and Mustafa. Yep. And he was very smart and with the Nation, and he told me a lot of stuff, but one of the things that he told me is that wrestling is like a mistress. You're gonna give everything that you can to her, but more than likely you won't get anything back. And when you're wrestling, the ring is called a canvas for a reason, because we are performing art in the center of that ring. And you tell a story, and that's the art, and that's one of the real big things about me performing, because I tell a story in the ring. I'm going to try to beat a guy's ass, but the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go after my knees. And it's not a secret. I joke with people all the time. My upper half, I'm built like a tank. My lower half, I'm built like a Geo Metro. Well, held together by tape and bird droppings. So that's, and I try. So, and that's one of the things that I'm as a face, I guess that's why I'm more or less a face all the time, because I'm more sympathetic and the crowd will get behind me. Whereas a heel, they're going to be like, oh yeah, the guy's got bad knees, I can go after him. And that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to knee you, and I'm going to use my braces as weapons.
Friendly weapons
that are authorized. There you go.
Exactly. See, that's not cheating.
That's not cheating. Well, it's not cheating if you don't get caught.
Exactly.
See, I know. I follow Eddie Guerrero too, so I know about that.
Well, you brought up New Jack. I used to do a podcast with the original Pitbull, Gary Wolf.
Gary Wolf, okay.
Like many years ago, and we did an interview with New Jack, and that was the only interview I've ever done where we had to put a parental advisory warning on the interview, because every other word, if we had a censor, would just be like the censor going off,
right?
Like the whole interview.
It would sound like Morse code. So funny story. One of my friends who's in Colorado, his name is Eric Angel. Eric Angel actually wrestled New Jack. And one of the funny things about that is that, so I was a huge New Jack fan. Okay. And I remember he had a match with Eric. And the thing about it is, yeah, we knew that Eric was not going to survive, because it's New Jack. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Unless you got a bulletproof vest and a up armored car and you run him over a few times, you ain't gonna beat him. And even then, I don't think that's gonna do the job. But yeah, I remembered I couldn't make that show, but I remember he was all bloody and it was like almost like a sick smile on his face, like I got messed up by New Jack. So that's kind of the thing right there.
And the cool thing about that was Gary surprised New Jack because he got Mustafa to come on.
Oh, nice.
So we actually had the Gangsters on the podcast, which for me was like insane, because I was a huge ECW.
Right. No, and like I said, there's not going to be anyone else like New Jack now. I mean, unless they don't plan on getting very far in wrestling, they'll probably get canceled really, really quick. But yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, he's an original. He won't be anyone like him.
I do have a huge announcement to make, if you don't mind.
By all means.
Well, I manage a group called Big Money Exchange. And about a month ago, we lost, he didn't pass away. He was dealing with some personal issues. The biggest news ever. Jimmy the Real Mayhem is back in Big Money Exchange.
Nice. I'm gonna have to look him up.
He's been in the business over 12 years, and he was dealing with personal issues outside the business, and finally got a call saying I'm back, and I'm like, okay.
Nice.
Mayhem is gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check him out when I get a chance to.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Nate.
Well, I think it's Tony.
Okay.
Tony.
Well, let's see here. I'll be nice. I won't do a top 5. So
you can do whatever you like. Do whatever you like.
What's the best advice your trainer's given you?
Because they've given me so much advice. If you're, I know this is kind of like elementary, but if you think you're going too slow, slow down. Have fun. Don't think too much. And that's my problem in the ring, is that I think way too much. And you don't want to think too much in the match. You want to tell a story.
Yep.
And if you, show. And one of the other things is that show emotion. Show that you give a damn. Because if you don't show that you care, your fans, the audience is not going to care. Yeah. They're going to be like, okay, this is a piss break, and they're going to go to the bathroom, or they're going to get a beer or something like that. So you got to, and like I said, I sell, I look like death. I look like death that's coming at me. So yeah, that's how I am, even though I'm big.
Welcome to wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, damn, you actually sold that? Like, yeah, you sold. You go after my knees and you work my knees the entire match. I'm going to have trouble standing. That's just kind of how it goes,
Oh, I got a story about selling, by the way.
Okay.
This green rookie, we were against the Brian Kendrick. My group was against the Brian Kendrick and a guy named Legendary.
Right.
Super green, blew off, the Brian Kendrick's plan for the match.
Right.
So, anyways, I was outside. Legendary was outside. He decides to super kick me. Now, tell me this: would you sell about that far away from your face a super kick?
No.
Well, he got pissed off after, and I went in the back. He's like, "Why didn't you sell a super kick?" I'm like, "I did. It was missing about 3 feet away from my face, so I fell down as a manager, scared as hell that I'm gonna get kicked by one of you guys."
Right.
And he's all like, "Yeah, but I slapped my leg." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm not selling air, dude. I'm not selling air."
Yeah.
And he's all like, "Well, you need more training." I'm like, "Correction, bro. I've been in the business 8 years. You've been in the business 9 months. Don't tell me what I need to do. You do what you need to do."
And the thing about it is like, back to what I was saying about Eric Angel, one of the first things he taught me is that I'd rather you potato me on accident than not hit me at all. Because if you hit me, and if you try to hit me and it's nowhere near me, I'm not going to sell that, because I'm not going to look stupid. Exactly. But and if you potato me by accident, number one, I can sell it because you actually hit me, and in the back, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but at least I sell it for you. Whereas if it's like this far away from your face, why am I going to sell that? Because I'm going to look stupid. Like one of my trainers, Big Guns, told me, yeah, wrestling is fake, but it's not fake, but it's like choreographed, but we don't want to advertise it,
Right.
And I've actually been kicked in the face, stuff like that. I'm gonna make it believable for you. So it is what it is.
Yep. Agreed. Tony.
No, it's yours.
Oh, why me? Why me?
Because you're big money.
Well, not to brag or anything.
No, you don't do that at all.
Never. So, if I were to get you a match out in Southern California, would you go to it?
Yes.
Okay, because the last person said yes, and I got him a gig and
Mhm.
never showed up. So I was kind of like, okay, well,
So I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm old school, especially, and I'm not talking about old school wrestling. I'm talking about just in general.
right.
If you give me an opportunity to perform somewhere, especially a place I've never been, and you have faith in me enough. I don't care if I'm the pre-show. I don't care if I'm like the opener or mid card. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna give you everything I got. Because number one, you didn't have to invite me out there. You didn't have to put me on your show. And plus, it's a new venue. It's a new area for me. So I mean, every place that I wrestle that I've never wrestled before, I almost think of it as a job interview. You go out there, bust your ass, get the crowd involved with you, or get the crowd hating you. Because that happened one time when I wrestled in Tucson, and I was out for 6 months, I believe, because I had COVID, and I had COVID and pneumonia, and I had to let my lungs heal out. So I was out for almost 6 months, and then I had to get back in the ring and shake the ring rust off, and I wasn't getting booked here in Colorado. So former training partner of mine said, hey, got a promotion in Tucson, Misty Mountain Wrestling. You're going to wrestle Roman Alexander, semi-main. They don't know who you are. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I drove down there, and it turned out to be a 3-way dance. And like I said, I haven't wrestled in a while. It was like 6 or 7 months. And Roman Alexander, who was the vet of that match, he said, I've been wrestling for 15 years. That was probably one of the best matches I've ever had. And we would love to have you come back.
Nice.
So we gotta keep in contact because
Of course.
I got like promotions up the yin yang in SoCal.
Okay, like I said, you give me enough notice, because I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, yeah.
Give me enough notice. I'll get the flights. I'll coordinate everything with the job, coordinate everything with the missus. Speaking of missus, it's funny because my wife I'm actually getting my wife trained to wrestle because she wants to wrestle now, and I'm like, are you? And most guys would be like, I don't want her to wrestle, but I'm like, are you sure? Like, yeah, but are you do know what I do, right? She's like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll get you trained, but I'm not gonna take it easy on you. So and that's what we're doing. So I'm training to get better. She's training to get where she is, and maybe she can get in this too.
I got lots of work to do. God.
Yeah, you
Yes,
do.
you do.
Yes, you do. I'll send you my resume, send you some of my matches, work with
I'll
me.
pass it around out there. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Always.
So can you tell us some of your biggest rivals?
Yes. Okay. So some of my biggest rivals, obviously, I have Big Guns Justin Andrews. I think I've wrestled him like, oh God, I want to say like 6 or 7 times. And I always say that every time that I face him, I'm usually better than I was the time before. So like my very first match was against him, and it was a gauntlet match. And I always joke that my interest was longer than my match with him. And I was green. I only had like maybe 4 or 5 months of training because I was a referee, but I was training to be a wrestler. And I was like, okay, yeah, one guy got sick. You could get your gear on. I'm like, but I don't know anything. Well, you'll figure it out. And
learn as you go.
Yeah, we've had a lot of matches against each other. We've had a street fight. We've had a Serengeti death match. And the one thing about him is I've never beat him. I have never ever beat him. I mean, every time I wrestle him, I come close, but it's not there yet. So, I have to go back to the drawing board on that. Another rival that I have is a gentleman out here named RJ Kernan. It's kind of funny. So RJ and I, he was my very first match. He give you a little Wikipedia story on this. So he was a bully, and I was a referee. He assaulted me. So the next show,
he was giving you love taps.
Yeah, he gave me a love tap. So the next month I returned his bat to him, repeatedly. So he gets suspended, I get fired, and he wants to face me in a match as a referee. So we wind up doing a street fight. I won. Then 3 years later, he comes back into my life. I'm the CSW 719 champion at the time. And yeah, he just made my life a living hell. He two months in a row, he had me laid out. The second month he had stomped on my face and held my title up in the air. So the third month, which was December, we had a Nightmare on 34th Street fight where there was no disqualification, no count out. We beat the piss out of each other, and my wife got involved actually because he actually started. Yeah, my wife never wrestled, never did anything, never got involved. He got in her face, and she slapped him so hard twice that the announce table heard it. And, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
I'm telling you guys the good side.
That may or may not be the cause where she's like, I might be at the wrestling thing, but we'll never know. I mean, she said it was the Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley match, but I think it may have been a little bit that she was interested in before that. But you know what? I don't care her reasons, as long as she works hard. I'm good with that.
It pays off, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, those are my two biggest rivals.
So I'm cutting you off, Tony, so you're welcome. Now, I heard death match. My usual question, what's your opinion on death matches? Obviously, you had a death match.
Street fight, yeah. So I'm not actually a death match guy. I'm actually a street fighter. But
okay, there's
so my personal opinion on death match is that I don't have an opinion on death match because people think of death matches as like, oh yeah, it's just, gore and, it's like sadomasochistic urges or anything. I don't think that because you got to think death match is a type of wrestling, just like lucha libre, just like pancrase, just like strong style, just like technical wrestling. So it's a different style of wrestling. Could I do it? No. I have respect for people that do. Can I do a street fight? Yeah. I mean, but I can't do a street fight every night. So guys like Sliik, I can't do stuff that Sliik does. Mm-hmm. But with like me, I mean, I would do a street fight or do a ladder match or something like that if it calls for it, like for example with RJ, the reason why I did a street fight was because number one, street fights was his specialty, and as storyline goes, I wanted to end this. I told him I will end this the way that we began it. We began as a street fight. I'm going to end it as a street fight. I'm gonna beat you at your own specialty. And so it's like I said, it's storytelling because you do stuff special that you don't always do. Because if you do it all the time, it kind of loses its effect. Now, deathmatch might, because deathmatch is a little bit like for example, WWE does Money in the Bank once a year. Why? Because if they did it over and over and over and over again, they wouldn't. They'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Everybody will get burnt.
Yeah, but if you do it once a year and you try to top yourself, just like Royal Rumble, they do Royal Rumbles once a year because they want to see like, okay, what stunt is Kofi going to do? What returns are they going to have? What special guests are they going to have? But if they did it like every 4 months, they would not. People wouldn't be as appealed to it.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
And that was a first.
So, Tony, you're up.
Okay, well, he mentioned CSW, so I've got to go there.
I know. Go ahead.
One of the better promotions, I think, in Colorado, just because we love Randy and a lot of the wrestlers from there we've interviewed. So, are you booked on Headlocks?
I am not.
What do you think of the card so far?
I think the card is interesting. And I'm not because, like I said, The thing about wrestling is that even though I think so, like perfect example. If you think a show is gonna suck, don't think a show is gonna suck until after the show is over. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yep.
And then you're going to go out, run your mouth like, yeah, I'm not going to go here because the show sucks and this, that, and the other. And you come out, I'm like, oh, damn, that was actually pretty good. Like, perfect example, WrestleMania. I did not think that Okay, let me back up. WrestleMania Night 1 was phenomenal.
Yeah.
WrestleMania Night 2 was like, it wasn't as good as Night 1.
No.
And that's and that the thing about it is that before or watching WrestleMania, I didn't watch WWE for like over a year.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't watch Raw, I didn't watch SmackDown, didn't watch NXT. I was watching like the old stuff. So I was watching old NXT, Ring of Honor, stuff like that. I wasn't watching none of this stuff. And then I just like, okay, well, I'll watch, WrestleMania, and if it sucks, I can get my refund on Peacock. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like Night 1 blew me away. And I'm going into Night 2 and I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, no. So yeah. So that's, and like I said, the card is interesting. I already know a couple of matches that are going to be. The one that I'm looking forward to is actually going to surprise you. That's going to be Pandemonium versus Tyra Rusame. And
yes.
Let me explain why. Okay. So Tyra, no secret, she's been a beast the last, I want to say, year. Everybody that they put in front of her, she went through them like wet toilet paper. And she has faced, I want to say she faced Panda twice. Panda has been in the Omega 9 tournament. Okay. Mm-hmm. She hasn't been wrestling for very long. I want to say like maybe a little over a year and a half, but you got to think. She was in the opener qualifier with the Omega 9. And they don't hand out invites to the Omega 9 like they're stuff that you find in Cracker Jack boxes. You got to be in your P's and Q's if you're going to, let alone be in the qualifier, but then to get into the qualifying rounds, and she was in that. Then she won the Red Rock Rumble where she outlasted 39 other people. Okay. So out of all the matches that are on the card, that is the one that I'm actually interested in. And like I said, I like all kinds of wrestling. Women's wrestling is usually the ones that are good because the ladies sometimes have to outwork the men. And that's so, and you'd be surprised.
Yeah. So
I don't like him now.
So I'll go on record and say, Miss Pandemonium, we know you're one of our biggest fans. When you win that title, please come back on our podcast and rub that in Mr. Dodge's face.
Absolutely. And one of our past best interviews, just because it was fun to get on him about it, was with Killian, and it was right after the Red Rock Rumble. So he was not happy about how much we all love Panda.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be exactly happy to if the person that you're supposed to be like the monster of the promotion and you were one of the last ones to come in and you got eliminated by a person that came in like 10, 15 entrants ago. So that is kind of so he is kind of justified in being upset.
His thing was he didn't touch the floor. But if you watch the video, his whole body hit the floor. So
they said, like I said before, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you could say it's a fluke, but what's gonna say in the history books? He was the last eliminated, and that's the way it is. I don't agree with it, but that's just the way it is.
All right, well, enough about Miss Pandemonium because I can go on for days.
Right.
I know you can. So what's the craziest thing you've seen in a wrestling ring? Or maybe done.
Okay, so funny story. I was not even in the business probably 4 or 5 months. And I went to a show up north, Primo's Pro Wrestling. Now, I helped set up the ring, and we was having trouble with the turnbuckles, the bottom turnbuckle to be exact.
Oh,
on ropes.
those are the bitch.
So we got it all straightened out, and not even the first match in. Brewmock, Big Buffalo Brewmock. My dude goes into the ring, grabs the bottom turnbuckle, snaps completely. So the entire show, they're doing matches with the top two turnbuckles. There is no bottom turnbuckle because people are already there and the show started, and they're like, well, screw it, we're just gonna have to go with two turnbuckles. So you got all the luchadors there trying to hop up, and it's like, well, and it went through. They did it. So that was the craziest thing that I've ever seen.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Wow. That is, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to them though for being able to work on the fly like that.
Yeah, the show must go on. I mean, like I said, I've seen. I mean, I've been in matches where, like the street fight, we were supposed to have a ladder. We didn't have a ladder. Okay, screw it. We're not going to use a ladder. Or, like, hey, turnbuckle pad came off. Screw it. We're not going to use it. We're going to avoid that corner, The show must go on. That's why we call it living theater, because of this reason.
Wow. Go ahead, Tony.
Nope, you're up.
You're up, Dodge.
Wait, now I'm lost.
Yeah, it sounded like y'all ran out of questions for me.
Right.
No, not quite.
Okay.
Almost, but not quite yet.
Okay.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
Let me see. If you had a choice between the major promotions to sign with, who would it be and who would you want to face first? And why?
God. Okay. I'm going to give you that one. That's a very good question. So the answer might surprise you.
That's why they paid me the big bucks.
Yeah, I know. I see all those bins in your hand, guy. Because you're hot. So the answer would be, and not AEW's version, but the original version, Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, and the person that I would love to face, because I was a huge fan of his, it would be either a toss-up between Homicide or Eddie Kingston.
Ooh. Oh. Can I say it?
Yes.
Go for it.
That was a first.
Yep.
Like I said, all the questions that you ask me, they're not going to be, like the questions that you might be used to.
That we've already heard.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm weird like that, which, I mean, because like I said,
that's a good thing. That's a great
because
answer too.
Eddie is I am a huge Eddie Kingston fan. I mean, I followed him back when he was in CZW. I mean, he doesn't have the typical wrestling build, but he can go, and his promos are like almost, I want to say Heyman tier quality, because he makes you give a damn about his matches, especially, and like the more he hates that person, the better his promos are. Like, for example, his promos with Chris Hero were down almost borderline biblical.
Wow. Yep.
And like I said, I did a lot of research on you getting ready for this. The match, a match between you and Eddie Kingston would be amazing. And any promoter out there, once he gets healthy, please find that and let me know when you do, because I want to be there.
Oh God, yeah, I want to make sure that my will and testament is filled out, and make sure my medical stuff is updated, because like I said, it's like all the matches that the harder the matches that are, I just go all in. Like I said, there was one match between me and Guns that we did. It was called Neon Lights Bar Fights up in Primo's a couple of years ago. There was no ring. Like I said, it was just like it was in a bar. And what we did was, we were tag team champions at the time. And the promoter was like, okay, your opponent is him. And I'm like, what? And we literally chopped the ever-loving piss out of each other. I'm saying we literally like hit each other with forearms. We were tag team partners, but at the same time, we literally are beating each other up. And then I text him the next day and I'm like, dude, I know I'm black, but my skin shouldn't be red like this. And then he's like, you think you got me off easy? And then his chest is all red. I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, depending on who I'm facing, I'm gonna, fight you as hard as I can. You're gonna have to beat me. Like literally prevent me from counting. You're gonna have to literally like beat the life out of me to pin me or submit me.
Right. So I'm gonna really put you on the spot here. Mm-hmm. I always apologize a little bit for this.
That's
question,
fine. That's fine.
If you were a promoter and you could put together your dream card from first match to main event, what would it be and who would be in it?
Okay, so promoter wise, do they have to be famous or could they be local or could they be a combination of the two?
It could be a combination.
Okay, combination of the two. So open. Oh God. Okay, and now one other thing. How many matches are we working with?
Let's say 5.
5. Yeah. Okay. 5. Okay. So the 5 matches. Okay. So opener would be because I'm gonna do a combination of local and well known. Okay. So let's see here. Opener would be a guy in Colorado. Name is Logan Austin. And he would be going up against Phoenix versus Ricochet. Yeah. Spot face.
So how much are tickets?
I'm not even doing
the first one. Let's go.
Okay. Second match. It would be Bobby Lashley versus Marlon Bishop. Ooh. If you don't know who Marlon Bishop is, big dude. I've actually met Bobby Lashley before years ago when I was in the Army, and he was here. Great guy, very, very nice guy. But Marlon Bishop versus Bobby Lashley. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Third one. And I know I'm kind of biased, but I'm going to do it anyway. My tag team partner / enemy / trainer / nemesis. Big Guns Justin Andrews versus Samoa Joe.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes, please.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I'll take VIP seats.
And the funny thing about it is that who's the guy that his finisher is the Tour of the Islands? I forgot his name already.
Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, he's wrestled Jeff Cobb before.
Wow.
Yeah, he's wrestled Jeff Cobb before. Number 4, the semi-main, and I'm taking promoter's privilege here. It would be me versus Eddie Kingston in Falls Count Anywhere last man standing match.
Ooh.
Main event is going to be very hard. Okay, wow. So the main event will be a fatal 4-way. Seth Rollins versus
Seth freaking Rollins, huh?
Yeah. Let's put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
Seth freaking Rollins.
There it is.
Versus Jon Moxley.
Oh.
Versus Switchblade Jay White.
Oh.
Versus Okada.
Oh, Lord.
Those would be my 5 matches.
Damn.
I would be, and I usually would do this better if I had like a notepad. But since you threw me on the spot, I'm like, okay, screw it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That's not
Vince
bad. being on the
McMahon
spot.
teaching you how to book?
Huh?
Is Vince teaching you how to book?
No,
Or
because my
Tony
matches.
Khan?
No, because my matches actually make sense.
Oh.
It's funny, they do.
I don't
Okay.
care how much the tickets would cost to that show. I want to go. So just tell me what.
Yeah, if I ever
All
win
this
the
right
lotto,
here. Here
yeah,
you go.
if I win the lotto and I'll be able to get them out of their clauses, I'll be sure to advertise the hell out of that.
Exactly.
There's only one problem with that is I didn't book a tag team match. So
Okay, add one more match.
I'll add one more. And this one, it's gonna hit kind of home because so it would be the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks versus FTR
Oh shit.
versus rest in peace, Jay, the Briscoes.
Oh, I'm sold.
Can I get merch with the VIPs and everything?
Because I
free
love
alcohol?
the brisk. Yeah, there would be alcohol, but you
Oh,
have to
okay,
behave.
we're good.
Yeah, but like I said, I love the Briscoes because I followed
Holy-
them back in the day, and they,
Yep.
oh god, they were like I said, they are the pillars. They're this generation's pillars of tag team wrestling. So you
Amen.
know how in the 80s you had like Demolition, the Heart Foundation, the
Yep.
Rockers, the Samoan Assault Team. I'm probably saying it wrong. There's a
Dynasty.
bunch, but in this generation, you had the Young Bucks, you had Adam Cole, Colin O'Reilly, you had Lucha Bros, you had FTR. I mean, you had a bunch of tag teams. I mean, the Usos, all of them. So, but yeah.
Wow. So that's WrestleMania this year or next year?
Let's screw it. 5 years down the road if I own it. So
there you
go.
yeah,
I'm gonna remember this. Do you know that?
Okay, that's good. If they actually book one of the matches that I said, be like, oh wow, Slick actually predicted that. You might be able to sue somebody.
And see, I'll send you this video so you got proof that you said that too. So.
Exactly.
No, I can't sue them because their lawyers will eat me up. They would sue me. They would sue me for practice and file so many motions. I'm like, dude, I got $5.13. Come on, just work with me here.
Yep.
All right.
But no,
well,
great question.
Very good question. So, unfortunately, Mr. Noss, that was your last question.
Yes, it was. But it was a
Okay.
good one.
It was a great question. I was never asked that question before, but that was a great question. So kudos to you, sir.
My next question is: what do you see, or what do you hope your mark would be in wrestling after you're done wrestling?
So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I came into this game late. Most people start wrestling in their teens, early 20s. I came in after I did my military service in my 40s. So if I'm lucky, I may have 5 years. I may have 10 years in me if I'm lucky. I mean, there's still wrestlers that still do it. What I would love to do if I'm no longer able to wrestle, I would like to be on the creative side of things, or I would love to book. Because I love telling stories.
I thought you were already a booker.
I was not. I've
WrestleMania booking.
I've offered to my services for booking and storytelling. I've been respectfully declined, but like I said, I love telling stories in the ring. I do. I love booking. I literally I had a computer game where you were the promoter and you actually book stuff and you tell stories. I'm a firm believer in long-term booking, long-term storytelling.
The problem with promotions for indies nowadays, they start and then all of a sudden they get lost on a story and just kill it.
Exactly. And back in the days in like the 80s and early 90s, I mean, some storylines last anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half. Like the Mega Powers Implode. That storyline was a year.
Yep.
a year long.
And it all made sense.
And it all made sense. And it wasn't just like, it was actually like slow burning and like giving the fans breadcrumbs. But in the indies, the problem with the indies doing long-term story booking is in the indies, in my personal opinion, is that in the indies, it's a couple of things wrong. Number one, the fans, their attention span might be short-sighted. They might be into it. I mean, their attention span might be short-sighted. Another thing is that the person that's a pivotal part of that storyline, they might be signed or they may go move and perform somewhere else.
True.
They're not exclusive here. They are independent contractors. So, like the storyline that I did with me and RJ Kernan, I did it for 3 months, and I went to Randy and I said, look. Because at first, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tidbit. I was supposed to beat him. Just beat him, go on to the next one.
Yep.
And I told him, I said, give me 3 months. You give me 3 months, I'll give you one of your most hated heels on your roster. Give me 3 months, and I'll make it memorable. And he said, okay, what do you want to do? I said, okay, I face him next month. I lose. I lose by disqualification. So now he can say that he's had a pinfall. He's had a victory over the championship. He just didn't win the title.
Gotcha.
Right,
And then he could say that I'm a paper champion. I'm flawed. I'm supposed to be all righteous, but at the same time, I'm actually a hypocrite. I assaulted the referee. And But what's one of the things that a face is afraid of? The heel being right about him.
Yep.
That scares the ever-loving piss out of a wrestling face, is that the heel is right. Heels are supposed to be wrong and evil. Faces are supposed to be right and just. And he just basically said,
I want you guys to record what he just said about heels. I'm just saying.
But am I wrong? But am I wrong though?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, and like I said, when I hang up the boots one day, I would love to be creative. I would love to tell stories. I would love to, do storylines with people. That's just how I am. I love telling stories, and I would love to do that one day.
Well, then you better start moving to SoCal and teaching these promoters. I'm just saying, no disrespect to the promoters, but they kind of change every show, like their storyline, and I'm like, but this one isn't even done. Like, he's trying to beat the champion to become the champion, and he's getting his ass kicked in the parking lot and all this and that, and then now all of a sudden the champion's against somebody else.
Yeah. And I've seen stuff like that happen before. The only way that would make sense if I was booking it. So say that heel is the champion. Heel one is champion, and the face is trying to chase that championship from the heel. And the thing about it is that the face gets jumped, and he's not able to compete. So another guy takes his place. Heel beats him easy. The only way that would make sense is if the face comes back behind and beats up the heel, saying, hey, you put me in the hospital, you screwed me out of this opportunity, stuff like that. That's the only way that would make sense. And that's the problem with some storylines. The conclusion, I mean, basically the way I was told, and I forgot which seminar it was. I think it may have been O'Shea Edwards that I just did last week. I go to a lot of seminars, seriously. I think I went like 15 seminars in my career, and I've only been doing it for 4 years. When you tell stories, think of it like it's Marvel. Yeah, I'm a big MCU guy. Like for example, they only introduced Thanos at the end of the first one, and you saw little trinkets every now and again, but you didn't really see them until the last.
That's true.
And you build up. I mean, that's the thing.
Exactly.
If you're going to have the heel, and that's what I was telling with my feud with RJ, because they was like, oh yeah, you're gonna beat RJ and then you're gonna go to another person. I was like, so you're gonna make me John Cena the title. That's what you're gonna make me do. Is that just beat people? They're gonna get bored of me. They're not going to care.
Yep.
They're going to be
Exactly.
like, oh yeah, Slick's going to beat this guy. Slick's going to beat this guy. Slick's going
Why
to beat this
even
guy.
bother buying a
It's
ticket?
why even bother? Because the one thing that the one thing that the fans embrace is the struggle.
Yeah.
Why do you think everybody was so behind Steve Austin? Because everybody got a job that they hate, they got a boss that they don't like, and they got to deal with his BS all the time. And then he doesn't take any crap from his boss, he beats up his boss, he drinks a beer, he raises hell, and they identify with that. That is the struggle. Same thing with Dusty Rhodes. He tried to get the belt from Ric Flair, and the Four Horsemen intercepted him at every single turn.
Yeah.
But it's the struggle. He kept going, and that's what the story. And I'm going to go ahead and say this right now, and I'm going to be critical, and I'm probably going to get people not mad at me. I really don't care.
Welcome to wrestling.
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't agree with the finish at WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes. I did not agree with it.
Nope.
I did not agree
Nope.
with it. Let me tell you why I didn't agree with it.
Later.
Okay. So yeah, he got beaten by outside interference, right?
Yep.
But now you have built up Reigns to the point he's beaten everybody.
Yeah.
He's beaten Lesnar. He's beaten McIntyre. He's technically beaten everybody. I mean, what do you do when you beat everyone? That's what being.
Anything.
I mean, it's almost. I mean, when you go and you beat somebody, somebody's gonna have to dethrone them. But where do you go from here when all of your faces got conquered, cheated or not?
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that they wasted a Royal Rumble spot on Cody Rhodes if they had no intentions of beating him.
Yep.
That's I know some people are like, oh yeah, that was a oh jeez, oh. I was wondering if that's mine or not. Okay.
Not sure.
Yeah, but yeah, and they said, oh yeah, I agree with the finish. I'm like, I didn't agree with the finish at all.
Neither did I.
Yeah, my wife was like, why did they have Reigns lose? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know at all.
Why all this hype on Cody coming back and finishing the story, keeping everybody's hopes up, and then all of a sudden turning around on everybody that Roman wins? It's all like, okay.
I mean, I kind of know why they did it, because they wanted to do a shock victory. But afterwards, I was like, okay, I want to see what they do from here. And the first thing they do is, okay, Brock's gonna team with Cody versus Reigns and Solo. And then for no reason whatsoever, Brock beats the piss out of Cody. No explanation. Just he beats him. I'm like, I could have did so much better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I could have did 50. I could have came up with a reason why Brock beat up Cody in my sleep, because they had the stipulation that whoever is pinned, can't go after the championship as long as Reigns is champion. I would have had Reigns pin Brock. As a little miscommunication, Brock gets pissed, blames Cody, beats the piss out of Cody. Now you have a reason for those two fighting.
Yep.
That made sense right there. Yeah, that
makes
perfect
sense.
sense.
That's why I said I'm not Vince, because my booking actually makes sense.
Absolutely. So,
All right, Dodge. One last
So
question.
my last question is, where's your next match, and how can your fans find you?
Okay, so right now I do not have the only match that I have in the immediate future is in August. It's in the Battlefield Pro Wrestling, but I have a funny feeling that I will have a match in July. Now, as far as you get a hold of me, it's very, very hard to get a hold of me because Facebook is Slick Tyson Stone with 2 Ks. Instagram is Slick _Tyson Tyson_Stone. I actually do have a streaming channel that I'm in the process of getting started, which will have my wrestling matches from the past and the ones that I've done. It's on YouTube and it's Sliik Tyson Stone. So that's a project that I'm currently working on. In the meantime, the easiest way to get a hold of me to find out what shows or what matches I'm doing is on Facebook with Sliik Tyson Stone. And like I said, and right now my focus is, getting better in the ring, work on my conditioning, do a couple of moves that you haven't seen me. Cardio, because ring cardio and regular cardio are two different things. I'm a big guy, but I'm trying to lean out, look like a killer, train my wife. So staying tuned with her because I anticipate big things for her in the women's division very, very soon. And I didn't forget you. Get a hold of me, like I said, and I'll take a visit to SoCal, crack some skulls for you.
Definitely.
Yep. Any other questions for me, gentlemen?
All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, no. Pleasure. No, pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me on the show. Y'all kept me on my toes for the most part. I greatly appreciate it, especially the booking part. That was fun. I love that. that.
And as Mr. Dodge said again,
as soon as I get the show booked, you're all getting tickets. Ringside.
There we go. And as Mr. Dodge said, thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Until then, everybody, Sliik Tyson Stone from myself, Big Money, and the blobbing talking forehead. We'll see you next time.